can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So, a good performance from both teams.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I am Gursshheen Gahllen. Let's get started. On the show today, the Asia Cup, a tournament that promised fireworks, has fallen flat. Stadiums stay empty, matches look like practice games, and even India, cricket's biggest crowd puller, can't fill the stands. The ACC's idea was to give opportunity to every team, but has that approach killed the tournament's charm? Next up, FIFA's Men's World Cup is back in the line of fire. Their dynamic pricing, ticketing model is making fans restless and experts furious. New York mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani has slammed FIFA for putting profits over people. With sky-high ticket costs, will the American dream turn into a nightmare for fans? Is FIFA turning the world's game into an elite club? All that and more. But first, a look at the top headlines tonight on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, Bangladesh cruised to a 7-wicket win over Hong Kong in the Asia Cup. Put into bat first, Nizakat Khan powered Hong Kong 243 with his 42-run knock. In reply, Liton Das led from the front. The Bangladeshi skipper scored 59 as they chased the target with 14 balls to spare. Moving to football, Spanish capital Madrid's Metropolitano Stadium will host the 2027 Champions League final. The Atletico Madrid home ground last staged the final in 2019. Salzburg will stage next year's Super Cup. Meanwhile, Warsaw has been awarded the Women's Champions League final. On to chess, world champion Gukesh Tomaraju's woes at Grand Swiss continue. Gukesh suffered his third consecutive loss in Samarkand. The Indian ace lost to 16-year-old Turkish grandmaster Ediz Gürel in round 7. With this, Gukesh slipped to 84th on the points table. In news from hockey, 5 Canadian hockey players have been barred from competing in the National Hockey League until December. They were earlier cleared of sexually assaulting a woman in 2018. Now, despite the decision, the league feels the players' behavior fell woefully short of the NHL standards. And summing it up with badminton, India's star doubles pair Satvik Sairaj, Raniki Reddy and Chirag Shetty made it to the semi-finals of the Hong Kong Open. The duo beat Yap Roy King and Junaidi Arif in the quarterfinals. The Indians claimed the victory with a 21-14, 20-22, 21-16 scoreline. The Asia Cup has thrown open its doors to 8 teams this edition. A golden opportunity for the lower-ranked nations to rub shoulders with the giants. But here's the big question. When you put minnows and monsters in the same ring, does the tournament turn into a competition or a demolition derby? If you need proof, just look at Game 2. India kick-started their campaign against the UAE. On one side, the champions of world cricket. On the other, the home team still trying to find their footing. And India didn't just win, they steamrolled. UAE's lineup dismantled like a pack of cards. And then India chased the target in less than 5 overs. A 40-over match wrapped up inside 20. Had you blinked, it would have surely been a miss. This wasn't sport. It was a mismatch on steroids. And it wasn't just about skill or quality. It was about charity cricket at the highest level. Because in the 13th over of UAE's innings, when Junaid Siddiqui was caught short of his crease, Sanju Samson did everything right, stumped him clean. The third umpire gave him out. But then came the twist. Captain Suryakumar Yadav withdrew the appeal. Why? Because Siddiqui was apparently distracted by a towel. It was, as they say, the spirit of cricket. But let's be brutally honest. Would Sky have done the same if it was Pakistan across the pitch and the match hanging in the balance?
Event specific in my opinion. It would not have happened if Salman Agha was playing on 14 and game was hanging in balance. That was a good throw and presence of mind from Sanju. You look like a hypocrite. If it's within the rules, the umpire has given out, just stay out.
And that sums it up. Against UAE, you can afford generosity. Against Pakistan, never. But even beyond that one moment, the gulf in quality was screaming.
For our batsmen, to be honest, they were playing for the first time. They were overawed by India's big names. We should have batted 20 overs. But nevertheless, I think this is a learning process for us.
Imagine that. The coach of the opposition admitting his team was starstruck, not just beaten. And that's the harsh reality of Asian cricket right now. The tournament is packed with 8 nations, UAE, Oman, Hong Kong on one end. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka on the other. But let's call it as it is. Only a few teams in Asia are truly competing on the world stage. Out of the 8 teams here, only 6 even made it to the 2024 World Cup. And out of those 6, just 3 made it to the actual draw. The Super 8, India, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Sri Lanka and Pakistan, the once mighty giants, are struggling. India alone is carrying the region's reputation. Afghanistan are gradually growing, but the rest clearly failing. And the cracks are showing not just on the field, but in the stands too. Afghanistan versus Hong Kong, the opener of the Asia Cup, played to an empty stadium. Rows and rows of vacant seats. Even India's game against the UAE, empty patches everywhere. Cricket's biggest crowd puller failed to attract fans in their own continent. So when the tournament opener looks like a practice match, something is deeply wrong. Because here's the truth. Fans don't want glorified warm-ups. They want genuine contests. Football has figured this out. They have qualifiers. Tennis too, only the best progress to the main draw. They make the minnows earn their shot at the big boys. Because it improves the quality of the events. But cricket in Asia, the ACC's everyone gets a chance policy is turning what should be a marquee continental event into a snooze fest. Yes, developing cricket in emerging nation is important, but mixing them with the heavyweights at the main stage, it dilutes the brand, it drains the energy and it empties the stands. And here's the irony. The Asia Cup was designed to showcase the best of Asian cricket. Instead, it's showcasing the biggest gaps in Asian cricket. The tournament risks being remembered for empty seats, one-sided matches and wasted evenings. Because in the end, this is likely proving to be a one-horse race. Fans deserve better, Asia deserves better, and frankly, cricket deserves better. FIFA is once again in the headlines. And not for footballing brilliance, but for a money grab. The governing body that should set the gold standards is instead doing everything it shouldn't. The biggest acquisition, prioritizing profit over people. Raising one brutal question. Is FIFA turning into the world's game into a playground for only the elite? The 2026 Men's World Cup was meant to be history-making. 48 teams, 3 host nations and a mega push into the American market. But FIFA seems determined to crush the dream before the ball is even kicked. Ticket sales are technically underway. And just like a pop concert, FIFA has started a pre-sale lottery for certain card holders. But that's not the scandal. The real problem? It's the dynamic pricing. FIFA has announced that the cheapest tickets will quote-unquote start at $60. The most expensive, for the final, are jaw-dropping $6,700. But here's the catch. Conditions apply. Dynamic pricing means that if demand soars, your $60 ticket can suddenly jump to $200 or more. And there's no cap or resale either. So anyone who manages to buy early can flip the ticket for whatever price they want. That's not just expensive, that's extortion wearing a FIFA badge. And fans aren't taking it lightly. New York mayoral candidate Sohran Mamdani has called out FIFA, launching a petition against this shameless money-first policy.
I have long been quite troubled by how the supposed stewards of the game have opted for profit time and time again at the expense of the people that love this game.
And FIFA, their defense is even worse than the policy. They claim they are simply aligning with the market practice. Translation: everyone else is doing it, so why not us? But here's the thing, football isn't everyone else. Football isn't Coachella. It isn't Beyonce on tour. It's the World Cup, the sport that belongs to every corner of the globe, not just the 1%. Look at history. Dynamic pricing has already sparked fan revolts. Oasis concert in England, the FA Cup final last year. Fans fumed, atmospheres ruined. If it's a music gig, fine, the rich will still fill the seats. But football runs on emotion, not on excess. The terraces aren't built on Wall Street money. They are built on passion, fans screaming, singing, waving flags, living every second. Dynamic pricing doesn't sell atmosphere. It sells empty seats. Because the fastest people to buy tickets aren't the most passionate. In fact, they are the most desperate for profit.
The people who get the tickets quickest are not the ones who are actually the most eager to be there. They're the ones who are the most excited at the prospect of a profit. This also has a real impact on the potential for the atmosphere of the World Cup.
So even if FIFA manages to sell every single ticket, what happens when resale prices hit the stratosphere? How many go unsold then? How many true fans are left outside the stadium, priced out of their own sport? And if the Dutch drum armies, the English diehards, the Brazilian samba fans and the Argentine ultras don't make it in, will the World Cup even feel like the World Cup? Football wasn't built on elite VIP boxes. It was built in the streets of Buenos Aires, in the favelas of Brazil, on dusty pitches in Africa, and backyards in Europe. Maradona came from Villa Florito, a shanty town. Pelé dribbled barefoot on the streets of Sao Paulo. If FIFA's current model existed back then, the world would never have seen a Maradona, never celebrated a Pelé. FIFA calls itself the custodian of the beautiful game. But beauty isn't in the balance sheet. It's in the passion of the fans who make the World Cup what it is. If those fans are locked out, then what's left? A billion-dollar corporate circus without the soul. And FIFA needs to realize this. Because football is not built for the few. It was built for the world. If they keep going this way, the only goal FIFA will score in 2026 will be an own goal. And finally, it's time for Last Serve. US President Donald Trump has added yet another sporting event to his list. This time, he showed up at the baseball game between the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers. And as it has now become a pattern, his presence drew a mixed reception. Boos and cheers echoed across the stands, a sight that has become almost routine every time Trump walks into a stadium. Take a look. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gursshheen Gahllen and we'll see you right back here next week. Until then, stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.